There's something about the holidays that just brings out the nostalgia in me. Every year, I want to watch my favorite Christmas movie. I always want to partake in the holiday festivities in my favorite cozy games. And I have a tradition of reading my favorite Christmas book every year around this time. Let It Snow is an anthology published in 2008, written by three of the more popular YA authors of the time. Maureen Johnson wrote the Jubilee Express story, John Green wrote a Cheertastic Christmas Miracle story, and Lauren Miracle wrote the Patron Saint of Pigs story. And every year, I try to read these three stories to get myself into the Christmas spirit. Reading isn't the only thing that gets me into the spirit. I love partaking in cozy game holidays. Every year on my birthday, I have to play my birthday party in Animal Crossing. And every year for Christmas, I have to play Toy Day. I have other favorite cozy game festivals, of course, and I'm going to play them while telling you about my favorite Christmas anthology. I started reading Let It Snow every year in 2012, and in 2017, my partner and I started playing Stardew Valley together. The Festival of the Winter Star is Stardew Valley's Christmas festival. You are given the role of a secret Santa when somebody is chosen for you to give a gift to, and then somebody gives a gift to you. It's a festival of love in a small town where you can choose from 12 marriable people to show your love to. Of love, Jubilee's parents love Christmas. They named her Jubilee, for God's sake. She isn't named after Christmas Day, but after Jubilee Hall, building number 4 in the Floby Santa Village. Jubilee Hall isn't a real building, it's a miniature ceramic building that, when set up with the other Floby buildings, makes up a miniature ceramic village. 68 numbered buildings make up Floby Santa Village, and it's a good bet that Jubilee's family owns 67. People who collect the buildings of Floby Santa Village tend to become obsessed with them, and with a daughter named after building number 4, it's safe to say Jubilee's parents are obsessed. They're so obsessed that they leave their daughter on Christmas Eve to take a trip to get building number 68. Jubilee has been waiting for Christmas Eve all year long. It's her first anniversary with her boyfriend Noah, whom she'd first kissed at his parents' Christmas party the previous Christmas Eve. The only thing she's expecting is to get to kiss him again. She's certainly not expecting her parents' lawyer to show up on her doorstep the morning of the party. Her parents are so obsessed with the Floby Santa Village that they become a part of the riot going after building number 68. With them under police custody, somebody has to take responsibility for Jubilee. But that isn't their lawyer's job. All he's there to do is get her on a train to her grandparents, when all she wants to do is get to Noah's party. Jubilee's Christmas doesn't go a bit the way she's woken up expecting on Christmas Eve. Instead of spending Christmas Eve with Noah, she spends it on a train that ends up getting stuck in a small town called Gracetown. From there, Jubilee makes it to a Waffle House in the middle of a snowstorm, then down the street during said snowstorm, and eventually into a frozen pond before finally making it home with a boy named Stuart. Stuart is in one of the only 2 Jewish families in Gracetown, with a mom who decorates for Christmas anyway and welcomes Jubilee with open arms, and an excitable little sister. He met her at the Waffle House, walked her through the snowstorm, and fell into the frozen pond with her. Stuart isn't Noah. He isn't anything like Noah. He's sweet and gentle, and he makes time for the people he loves, even when they don't make time for him, such as the girl that cheated on him the year before. He isn't who Jubilee expects to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas morning with, but he is who she wants to spend it with. In many of the Harvest Moon / Story of Seasons games, you spend your Christmas with the person you choose to marry. In Friends of Mineral Town, at least in the remake, you can spend Christmas with your partner, whether you're dating or married to them. In dating, you'll spend time with their family. In marriage, you'll spend time with the family you've created with them. Either way, Winter's Starlight Night is important to your relationship. The Waffle House from Maureen Johnson's story is important to John Green's too. Jubilee's parents are obsessed with collecting the Floby Santa Village buildings in the same way that in John Green's Paper Towns, Raider's parents are obsessed with collecting Black Santas. The three stories of Let It Snow are all connected, with their characters overlapping. But its second story is the only one that connects the Waffle House with the first. Don Keon is the acting manager who attempts to show Jubilee hospitality after she gets caught in the snowstorm. He's also one of Tobin's three best friends, and he gets caught at the Waffle House on Christmas with a gaggle of cheerleaders from the train. JP is the one who wants to go see the gaggle at the Waffle House when Don Keon invites them, with a catch. Don Keon isn't the only employee caught at Waffle House. He and his two coworkers make a deal. They can each invite a group of friends to hang out with the cartwheeling cheerleaders, but only one group will be invited in. The group that gets there first, with Twister. JP is the one that gets his friends in the car in the middle of the snowstorm. He's the one who grabs the Twister. He's the reason Tobin starts the drive toward Don Keon's cheerleaders. But the drive doesn't last very long, not because they make it to Waffle House, because their car gets stuck. Everything points north towards Tobin and his friends being screwed. That is until their classmates, a pair of brutish twins invited by one of the other Waffle House employees, passes them by. Only for JP to kick their car into a snow wall. They run from the twins and trip them up again, feeling as though they can make it anywhere in the world. Until they realize they left the Twister in the car. It's a long night for Tobin, JP, and Duke. Normally, it wouldn't be such a long walk to Waffle House. Normally, they wouldn't be walking through a snowstorm, Twister in hand, for cheerleaders they've never even met before. Feelings come out. Duke is the girl that has grown up surrounded by boys who treat her just as one of them. It isn't JP's misogyny that hurts her the most, it's the blind eye Tobin has turned toward her. She's in love with him. They make it to the end. The Waffle House is in sight. But so are the twins, and the college boys invited by the final Waffle House employee, carrying a beer keg. And it's a race to the end, and in the end, JP is the first inside with the Twister securely tucked in his arms, and in the end, Tobin is in love with Duke too. I love Animal Crossing's Toy Day. It's my favorite of all these festivals, the day where you dress up as Santa and pass out Jingle's gifts. Of course, you can exchange your own gifts with your villagers too, the ones you spend the year with and grow ever so fond of. John Green wrote my favorite book ever, but Lauren Miracle wrote my favorite story in this book. My favorite part about this anthology is how each story is written in a similar voice. It's only one of the things that connects them. When Jubilee first finds herself on the train, she meets a boy important to this story, Jeb. Jeb tells Jubilee he's been trying to get back to his kind of girlfriend. His kind of girlfriend is Addie, the girl who is crazy for him and fears he isn't just as crazy. The girl who let the worst guy in her school get her drunk and pressure her into kissing him. Addie is also the best friend to Dory and Tegan, two girls who aren't friends with her because of her selflessness, something they remind her of often. She has a plan to fix everything. She's made a plan with Dory, who by the way is the kid of the only other Jewish family in town, to get Tegan the one thing she's always wanted. And she's written Jeb an email. She's fixing everything. Well, maybe not her hair, which she cut off and colored pink. But Addie's plans are about as bad as her hair. The email she wrote to Jeb asked him to meet her at the coffee shop she works at on the night of Christmas Eve. He wrote back just before Christmas Eve, "We'll see," which her friends remind her is very Jeb, but it isn't Jeb to not meet her, and after waiting for hours for him to show up, she decides to give up. But she's not giving up on Tegan's Christmas gift, no matter how screwed up the plan keeps getting. The only thing Tegan wants more than anything is a pig. The one thing her parents don't want is the responsibility of an 800-pound animal. But Tegan discovered that pigs don't have to grow to be 800 pounds because some people breed them to fit in a teacup. It is entirely possible to love a book and still know its flaws. I can point out many flaws in the Book of John Green's that I love so much. And I can point out this flaw. Teacup pigs aren't bred. They're starved to stay small. But that knowledge wasn't really known back when this was written, and all Tegan knows is just how much she loves her pig. Gabriel was purchased by Dory and Addie and is set to be delivered to the pet store across from Addie's job just after Christmas. And she has made it her mission to pick him up for Tegan, no matter how difficult it gets. No matter if Addie's childhood bully accidentally sells the pig to somebody else, no matter if the boy who kissed her is the only one who will give her a ride to the residence of the buyer, no matter if Jeb doesn't show up, because he does. And she gets Gabriel from the elderly lady who bought him, who is her actual angel, and Jeb actually is crazy for her, pink hair and all. I'm crazy for my cozy games, and I'm crazy for this anthology. And I cannot wait until next year when I get to read it all over again.